Man, Ryan, we were under a lot of pressure in that last episode. We're back with Phil and Rye, presented by Dempsey's and Sportsland. Ryan, we're here to go over the last check-in before we get the first round underway for the Huskies. We're here to go over the starting lineup for you guys, and then we'll go over what we think the projected starting lineup, and then we'll go over, Ryan, at the end, the final score prediction, something that we did not do last episode, and then, of course, who we have winning. I know it seems like it's going to be a shocker to everybody who we have winning, but no, not really. Not really. Let's just not get everybody fired up, not this quick into the episode. So Ryan, yeah, I guess you want to start out and you tell me who your starting five is in this ball game. I know it's kind of like it's kind of tough, right? Because if you're Gino now, you've been dealing with so many of these women coming on and off the bench all season long. And I talked to you yesterday. I'm like, Ryan, usually a team has their starting five set ready to go, but this time I kind of had trouble going through the whole roster. I'm like, does he start this one? Does he sit this one?
Yeah, well, throughout the Big East tournament, the starting lineup has stayed the same. So the last three games for UConn played on March 5th, 6th, and 7th. Starters were Edwards, Nelson Adota, Fudd, Mule, and Williams. So I would expect Gino to put the same starting five on the court tomorrow against Mercer. I really like how the minutes are getting spread out amongst all the players. Everybody's contributing. They're playing very, very well as a team. And if you look at if you look at the scores of those three games in the Big East tournament, win over Georgetown by 46, Marquette by 20, and Villanova, a team that beat them earlier in the season. Obviously, they weren't fully healthy, but Villanova did beat them. They beat Villanova in the championship final by 30 points. So I don't think there's any reason for Gino to change the starting lineup. And I think we can expect Page to come off the bench still and get around 15 minutes or so. So I really like how Gino is spreading the minutes around to all the girls. Everybody's playing really good, playing with a lot of confidence as a team. And so I think it's gonna stay the same, and I think it's gonna be very similar to what we saw in the Big East tournament.
That's right. So it's Will you have Williams, Fudd, Mule, Adota, and Edwards as your starting five.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I don't know. You agree with me on this or you disagree? Do you really take a big look into that starting five? I mean, yeah, I mean it's important. I mean to go over it like we are now, but I mean, is it really that because as soon as the game starts, there's no rule into how long you can let one player in. So, do you really put a lot of focus if you're a coach on that starting five? I would say no. I mean that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably more important for the players and their mindset going into the game, just so they know whether they're starting or they're coming off the bench, so they can kind of get a feel of what their role is going to be for the game. Maybe not so much for Avina Westbrook because it seems like no matter where Gino puts her, how many minutes she gets, she always finds a way to contribute somehow and get 10 plus points. It seems like every single game, but
Yeah.
I think it's probably just for more of a mindset for the players and just so they know what their role is. And I think, like you said, if Gino puts his starting five up and Mercer somehow has a mismatch or Gino sees something he doesn't like, he can put, Dorka or Ducharme out there or even Page.
Okay. Yeah, I tell you what, man, it's we were that last video, man. I mean, we can't thank y'all enough for coming through, but I tell you what, Ryan, I called you the day after, and we were under a lot of pressure. That was one of the more there was hot debates. They were hot. Hey, we appreciate it. Good comments, bad comments. We appreciate you all coming through, right? Because that's what makes us stronger. You can guarantee that, Ryan. But I tell you, man, people really had their opinions set up and they fired away at us, and we really appreciate it. I just want to start out in the last episode. In no way, I'll let this out now. You can give your score prediction at the end of the game, but in no way did we have Mercer winning this ball game. But for some reason, everybody started discussing, well, Phil, it sounds like Phil and Rye have Mercer winning it. There, it's not, and I think your score prediction won't even be close. Mine, I know, is not close. Just talk a little bit about what that meant, though, seeing a 15 seed defeat. Of course, Phil was wrong. Phil did not know what he was talking about. Ryan, I guess maybe they were saying Ryan did not know what he was talking about. I understand men's side of the discussion of the topic of what we're discussing here. It's not the women, but Ryan, we just witnessed it. What does that have to say about Phil? What does that have to say about March Madness altogether when we just witnessed Kentucky lose last night? And what a ball game.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good ball games, last night and all day yesterday in the men's tournament, and I would expect the same today for round two of the men's and round one of the women's today. And I know we're going down to those two games in Maryland today, so that should be really fun for us. But yeah, St. Peter's beat Kentucky, so a 15 seed over a two. We saw it last year when Ohio State lost to Oral
Mm-hmm.
Roberts of 15 over a two. So anything can happen. That's why they call it March Madness. That's what we've been saying for about the past month about March Madness. And yeah, so I mean, you look at the seeds of these teams, and it really doesn't matter what seed you are. It just matters that you get in the tournament. And any of these teams, I mean, like the Mercer Bears and Oral Roberts and the Longwoods of these tourneys, nobody really knows a lot about these teams. They're not big name teams. They're not big name schools. And we don't even know a lot about the players as well. We just know what their stats are. And you can't really judge them because of their conference. Everybody talks about how UConn plays in a weak conference, but they're always one of the best teams in the country. So you never really know how to judge any of these teams. And, we'll just see tomorrow how the game goes. But I don't think any of us have UConn losing to Mercer, but we're just saying there's always that really, really small chance that
Well, let's
an
just
upset
say,
can
yeah.
happen at any given time.
Let's just say, let's tell Mercer now while they're listening, please don't take UConn into overtime. Let's not even let's not even discuss overtime, Ryan, because yeah, we could see usually it's the underdog that comes out on top in overtime. We'll leave it at that, Ryan. We'll go over some comments and then we'll get on out. I know I was surprised. I was shocked to see Kentucky fall last night, Ryan. That was a good game though. Shout out to St. Peter's for that. And again, yeah, you're right. If you guys catch us at College Park later today, make sure you stop and say hello, right, Ryan? That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. I don't think you never witnessed March Madness in person. Neither have I. So I can't wait to see the Lady Terps in action.
Yeah, not in person. And watching all these games on TV, the crowd and everything is so hyped up and it's so loud. So I can't wait
Yeah.
to witness it and be there in person.
So let's go with Michael Lawson, Ryan. And again, this is from the comments from the last video. The UConn Huskies faced Mercer in first round. And boy, they came through, Ryan. They came through for you. Michael Lawson says, like anything else, it's going to be butterflies for both teams. When both teams get their feet wet, then it's a go. UConn, to me, have too many All-Americans that's played in big games. This is a stretch for me, but I'm looking for an inside out game from Caroline if the game gets slowed down.
Yeah, I mean, I think for both teams and for most of all these teams, just the pressure of being in March Madness and just that first game to just kind of get yourself going and get a feel for the game. It might be a little bit of a slow start for both teams, but I think this is where that experience plays in for UConn, especially having the four seniors. Of course, I don't think Dorka has been in the tournament. Maybe she did with Ohio State. But Williams, Adota, and Avina Westbrook have been in the tournament for UConn before, so that's where this experience comes in for these seniors. And I think that's probably what prevails UConn over a lot of these teams is their experience.
Yeah, again, thanks to Michael Lawson for commenting. I ran into I forgot who it was now. Austin usually goes over these comments too, and he makes a list of the ones that we should go over and read on the next episode every time. And I tell you what, there was one that came through and said, I don't know, it was talking about where, well, Phil must not know this program well enough, or you guys must not know. Believe me, we know. There's been legendary WNBA players that's went through this team, Ryan. There has been I actually, my eyes really opened up back when 2016 or 17 when the Huskies had that long winning streak in women's hoops. And that's when I was like, man, this is something special. Of course, even before that winning streak, Gino was winning ball games nonstop, right? But that's what I called you the next day and I talked to you over the phone, and I'm like, I don't know, do they understand it's one game? The past is the past. And again, for people that got fired up on that last episode, Ryan, this game right here, there is no Diana Taurasi. There is no Sue Bird. Okay. And then all the greats that went through Stores, Connecticut, they're gone. So we're talking about the most recent roster here. If you can recap on what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think for all the UConn fans out there, everybody's so used to winning, right? So, and when you have all the success, you gain a lot of fans and a lot of respect for everybody throughout women's college basketball. But there's also a lot of haters and a lot of people that don't like UConn. There's
But
a lot
and
of people.
naturally, right? We talked
Yeah,
about it.
I
That's
mean,
what comes with winning.
yeah, everybody has their own team, and when you see a team that keeps on winning and winning and winning year after year, and they're always in March
Mm-hmm.
Madness in the Final Four, it
You
seems
get tired of it.
there's going to
Yep.
be a lot of people that don't like that. So
Yep.
I think for the UConn fans though that have been fans for these 20 plus years that Gino has been around here for this program, I think maybe after the season and wherever UConn finishes, uh, maybe take a step back and just, realize that UConn throughout these 20 years, just the ride that they've been on, all these national championships, all the conference championships, all the success that Gino has brought to this program, it truly is incredible. And I feel like sometimes people get caught up in the present, and sometimes it just look back on the past, and however this season finishes, I think we all have to remember that this ride for UConn, the dynasty that it's built, this is going to live on for forever. So it just truly is incredible.
How about this one? AKA Johnson 81. I know so many people were were on us the whole time after that last episode about sounding like we were rolling with Mercer, which we're not. We hope UConn really can pull it out tomorrow, and we think that they will. How about AKA Johnson, though, 81? Couple hours later, I saw one comment, and Austin goes, yeah, this will spark another debate. You have to read this one off. AKA Johnson 81 says, I got to ride with Mercer Bears. Whoa. Whoa. Well, all right, Ryan, how about this one?
Yeah, well, I mean that's pretty special. I mean,
Whoa.
get to ride with the Mercer Bears. It probably will be your last, but I mean, maybe, I mean, anything can happen tomorrow at 1 o'clock on ABC. So I mean, we'll just have to see. It should be a good game, I would think, but
But
uh,
you're not going with AKA Johnson. You don't think that the Mercer Bears will win, do you?
unfortunately not. No, I just can't do it.
And like CR Sound Doctor, he goes 4 teams from the Big East: UConn, Villanova, Creighton, and DePaul is the first 4 play, and Marquette was on the bubble. So I mean, a lot of teams actually, Ryan, they made it from the Big East Conference, UConn's conference. So we expect them to fall out pretty quick, other than UConn, with the exception of UConn. But yeah, I mean, there's who's that? Well, one person has said, the conference about it being crap. But hey, I mean, a lot of teams really made the tournament.
Yeah, and DePaul, lost in that their play-in game, but yeah, Villanova had a really good season, and so did Marquette. Marquette and Villanova played UConn tough, so I was kind of expecting them to get in. And I really do think they deserve to be in March Madness. So we'll see what they can do.
Jamie Centrella goes unfinished business. UConn going all the way. Well, there you have it, Ryan. You see who's holding up the championship trophy already. Jamie just told you.
Yeah, and we hope so. I mean, it should be a really, really fun tournament. There's going to be some tough teams that UConn's going to have to play if they do make it down the line in the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, and Final Four. So it's going to be really fun to watch.
And then this one, this is the last one. Then we'll get out of here. We'll predict the score and then we'll head out. This is the one that sparked the hot debate the night that we posted the episode up for you guys. John Brubaker, Ryan, he goes, I love your content, but respectfully, are you out of your mind making a case for an upset? As far as the what does it do for a team to have 2 weeks off? Hate to tell you, pal, that except for the Big 12 and a very small number of teams, everyone has 2 weeks off, and it has been that way for many years. So those on the team with playoff experience are completely used to this. Also, have you ever considered this? Do you realize we have the greatest coach in the history of the game on our side? Did you know this? Do you think he knows how to manage the time off? I do really like this format, and you guys are great. But, man, hinting at an upset due to time off, no way. Go Huskies.
Yeah, we'll go Huskies indeed. But, I mean, I'm going to continue to say that UConn can get upset, and any team can get upset in the tournament. Anything can happen, but I certainly agree with you, Gino.
I mean, we just, again, that's the men's side of the basketball, but we just witnessed, Ryan, a 15-seeded team defeat a number 2 seed in less than 24 hours. It was last night.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen on the women's side as well, and I agree with you, Gino, being one of the best coaches, and
absolutely. We've been
in the
saying that. I don't know if
for
John Brubaker has been listening to the past episodes, but that's another good point. I've been praising Gino every single episode we've been on, saying how great he is. So I'm not too sure if he's heard that or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows how Gino is a great coach. He's been many years in the UConn program, so
yeah,
I'm sure he has everybody in the UConn program ready for this game, and I'm sure everybody's ready to go.
And it's something I feel like some people don't want to hear. Hey, sometimes it's too bad. At the end of the day, you can pull out information, you can pull out history, you can go in the history books, you can pull out stats that matter the most and know exactly what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, it comes down to a win or loss.
Yeah, and it comes down to one game, one game in March Madness. It's not best out of 3, best out of 5. There's no losers tournament. It's one game.
One game that is, Ryan, and we will predict this game right now. Ryan, I have the final score 80-56, UConn over Mercer. I think fairly close game late in the second quarter. I don't know. I wouldn't say all the way to halftime, but I feel like in the third and fourth, UConn will run away with it. And I have UConn putting up an 80 mark, and hopefully it's more, hey, but an 80 mark on Mercer. So, and then we will get Ryan's prediction.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a close game either. I think it's going to be a blowout. I'll go 86-51 UConn. I don't think it's going to be close, maybe in the first couple minutes, but I just think UConn is way too talented to lose in the first round to a 15 seed. So, I don't think it's going to be a close game at all.
So there we have it. Hopefully the pressure dies down, Ryan, and people see that, yes, we do have UConn winning. We do hope UConn wins. It's Phil and Rye on Listen Up.